Hey everybody, welcome back to Go Read Some Comics with me, Professor Jenna. I told myself I was just going to relax and enjoy the last few days of the year and return to y'all with my next Creature Commandos breakdown, but then news came out that I just have to make a video about. Former Aquaman star Jason Momoa has officially been cast as the DCU's Lobo and will debut in 2026's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which reportedly starts filming in mid-January. For the uninitiated, Lobo was created by Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen in 1983's The Omega Men #3. It took a few appearances and some retcons to land on his origin, which is as the last surviving member of the utopian alien race, the Zarnians, but he's only the last surviving member because he killed them all himself. With his biker aesthetic and his superhuman strength, he's known as one of the galaxy's deadliest bounty hunters. His role in the landscape of comics has evolved in some fascinating ways. He originally started as a straightforward villain before being revived in the 1990s as a more tongue-in-cheek send-up to the gritty superhero stories of that decade. In addition to parodying Marvel's stamp on Punisher and Wolverine, he spent the 90s crossing over with The Mask and Judge Dredd, as well as parodying RoboCop, American Gladiators, comic book conventions, and the entire concept of the holiday season. Seriously, the Lobo paramilitary Christmas special, in which the Easter Bunny asks him to assassinate Santa Claus, is iconic, but I will talk more about that in a bit. As time went on, he joined the Space Force Legion, got magically de-aged into a teenager, fought Wolverine and lost, and literally went to hell. And then there was the New 52 of it all, which tried and failed to reimagine him as a smaller and more conventionally attractive action hero. He is now best known as Phobo. More recently, the comics have explored his volatile but loving relationship with his teenage daughter named Crush. He's also sporadically appeared in a number of DC animated projects, as well as the second season of Krypton, the most painfully underrated live-action DC TV show. There have been plenty of attempts to give him a solo project across the past few decades. Guy Ritchie, Brad Peyton, and Michael Bay have all been attached to direct a solo movie at different points, with Dwayne Johnson briefly signing on for Peyton's version before pivoting to Black Adam. Final Space's Olin Rogers also pitched a Crush and Lobo animated series to DC in 2020, but that never came to fruition. It's no secret in the nerd community that Momoa has wanted to play Lobo for quite some time, to the point where when he first got the call for Aquaman, he was convinced that they were really offering him Lobo. I've always been able to see the vision for his performance, especially with how enthusiastic he personally is about the character, but especially after seeing him play Dante in Fast X, I really think he's going to have fun with this character in a way that people are going to love and be surprised by. I also love the fact that it's then not impossible to bring in actors from the previous DC era as new characters, although I will be heartbroken if that also applies to Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. As far as Woman of Tomorrow itself goes, I don't think you need to panic about Kara having to share the spotlight or anything like that with Lobo. There is a bit of a precedent for Lobo factoring into the story, as Tom King explained on the Word Balloon podcast in early 2023.
That book began as me pitching a Lobo Supergirl book. And it was my editor, Brittany Holster and Jamie Rich, who were like, no, take Lobo out and make Supergirl the Rooster Cogburn character.
I do think it's fun to honor that idea in the film adaptation, but I definitely don't see him co-headlining the movie in any way, shape, or form. The heart of the Woman of Tomorrow comic is the dynamic between Kara and Ruthie, a young girl from an alien planet, and their adventure traversing the galaxy on a mutual quest for revenge. Along the way, they run into a menagerie of weird aliens and very emotional situations, and I can easily see Lobo fitting into the fold of that for a portion of the movie. There are already some elements of Woman of Tomorrow that we're going to need to be modified for an adaptation, mainly how prominent Ruthie's narration is in the comic, and James Gunn has hinted that screenwriter Anna Nogueira is providing her own take on the story. So sure, why not throw Lobo into that and have him be a really fun foil for the rage and the loneliness that Kara and Ruthie are both dealing with across the story. It feels similar to the way that the other heroes are factoring into Superman, and it just feels like an interesting way to kind of hit the ground running in the DCU. Beyond that, I can see the potential for Lobo to appear elsewhere in the franchise. Maybe not a full-fledged Deadpool-esque film trilogy, but still in some ways that are fun and suit the character. After how well the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special went, I hope against hope that we can maybe see the paramilitary Christmas special as some sort of standalone special that comes out after Woman of Tomorrow. I also would love to see some sort of two-hander between Crush and Lobo, whether that's in live action or animation. He also has a history with the JLI, who would keep being heavily teased throughout the world building that we're seeing in Superman, and he did have a run-in with the Authority after Jenny Quantum got upset that he murdered Santa Claus. Either way, there are plenty of fun options here, and I'm glad that we can finally know that this is happening. What do you think of Jason Momoa playing Lobo in the DCU? Where do you hope the character appears next? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to follow me on social media at Hey It's Jenna Lynn. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. As I said at the start of this video, I will be back on Thursday with another Creature Commandos breakdown video. I hope everybody has a safe, happy, healthy new year. 2024 has been weird for me, for lack of a better term, so I am very excited to see what the future holds in one way or another, and I'm so glad to take you guys on that journey with me. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, go read some comics.